Hey 7th graders, it's Miss Crawford. I hope you guys have made a habit of watching these videos because as we move more and more into Amplify, you guys will see that I'm going to be combining a lot more lessons and doing a lot more things outside of Amplify. So, for instance, if you guys were to do this assignment today without watching this video, you would do a lot more work than what was required of you. So today we're actually going to be blending two lessons today, lesson 1.2 and 1.3. The last lesson that we did in Amplify, you guys should have done the 1.1 pre-assessment. So if you haven't done that, it shouldn't take too long. Obviously, it's a pre-assessment. You guys haven't learned a lot of this stuff yet. Maybe you know some of it, or maybe you're guessing on some of it, but it'd be nice to know kind of where you guys are at. So go do that if you haven't already. Try hard, submit that, let me know when you guys get it finished. And with that being said, we're going to go ahead and jump into our next, technically two lessons, but in one day. Okay, so to begin, you guys should have set up your notebook according to the instructions today in Teams posts. But I'm going to go through that really quick with you guys. So you should have added a section at the bottom of your notes page here and titled it Traits and Reproduction. Okay, in Traits and Reproduction, to start, you guys are just going to add 2 pages. Okay, so we'll add more as we talk a little bit more about genetics. So we're going to do a lot of things outside of Amplify in this unit, which will be nice. I'm sure you guys all could use a little break from it. And that's kind of how the rest of the year will look like now that I'm back in the saddle. Okay, so 2 pages to add there. You're going to title the first one vocab, and the second one is going to be your key concepts. Okay, today you guys have a couple different things to add. So today you guys should have added the unit 1 question, or excuse me, the unit question, the chapter 1 question, and key concept number 1. So unit question asks us, why do traits vary? And why do they vary even between parents and offspring among siblings? So if we look at your siblings, okay, or your parents, okay, you look like them and you have some traits that are similar with your parents and your siblings, but you're not identical to them. So why do we have that variation? Okay, chapter 1, we're going to focus on basically the proteins that make up spider silk. So throughout this unit, we're going to be studying spiders. So they're called Darwin's bark spiders. And we're going to look at traits for silk flexibility. So why do certain spiders in the same species of spider have different flexibility in their silk? Okay, so how do genetics play into that? And then key concept number 1 that we'll address today says the function of a protein molecule depends on its structure and how it interacts with other protein molecules. So at the end of this today, you guys will have a little lab that you do. If you're in class today, you'll do it hands-on. If not, you guys will just kind of look at the pictures and make predictions. And guess what things would look like if we were together. It'll make more sense when we get there. Then for your vocab, you guys should have added 5 words today, I believe. You should have added trait. So here's what a trait is. It's a specific characteristic of an individual organism. So a trait for us might be eye color. Okay, we have different variations for eye color. We could have brown eyes, green eyes, blue eyes, etc. Okay, so trait is your first vocab word, followed by variation. Your variation would be all of the different colors of eyes you might see. So again, brown, blue, green, etc. Okay, protein molecules. So you guys will be learning how to build some proteins today. So what we've kind of talked about when we did our DNA unit was, yeah, DNA is important, but it doesn't make our eyes brown. Okay, proteins make our eyes brown. The DNA just holds the code or the recipe to make that protein. So a protein molecule is a type of large molecule that performs important functions inside organisms. So it might be to give you pigmentation in your eyes and act as a muscle that contracts in your eyes. It could be all your muscles in your body. It could be your digestive enzymes. We have proteins just about everywhere. Okay, structure is the way something is shaped or constructed. So shape is going to be the big word we focus on with structure. And function is the job it does, so how something works. Okay, so the 2 examples you get here is a bike tire has a circular structure, but its function is to help it roll over the ground. Okay, so we talk a lot when we talk about proteins about their shape, because they won't have the same job if they don't have the correct shape. Okay, all right, so moving on. You guys will be in Amplify for part of this today. You guys are in a new unit, Traits and Reproduction. We'll be working out of chapter 1 today. And you guys will be doing lesson 2 and 3. So the first thing I want you guys to do in lesson 2 is just go to your lesson brief once you open it. So your lesson brief should be right here to the left of your warm-up. So you'll click on that, and then I want you to go watch a video. So the video that you're going to be watching today is studying spider silk. Okay, I'll just show you the first second so you can make sure you guys are on the right page. So once you have watched that video, you guys can exit out of that. And then we are just going to go ahead and move right into 1.3. So that's really all we're doing out of 1.2. Okay, so I click back on chapter 1. I'm going to go into 1.3. And in this unit, the only thing you guys will be completing is a little video, some reading, and then a hands-on activity. So a lot of that will be done actually answered questions in your team's assignments. Okay, so what I want you guys to do is, again, go to your lesson brief to the left of your warm-up. You'll go to the video Spiders in the Lab. And you guys will watch this video here. It looks a little something like this.
And how about the spider? Did she eat yesterday?
Okay, so go ahead and watch that video. It talks to you guys about the Darwin bark spiders and just kind of how scientists would use these spiders to study different traits of silk flexibility. So you guys can kind of see what they're doing in the lab. Okay, and then finally you guys will go to this reading activity. So there's nothing you guys have to do in Amplify other than read the article. So you guys will skip through to part 3 of activity 2. And you guys will choose one of these 4 articles. Okay, so you will read the introduction, different silks for different functions. It's a pretty short little introduction. You guys don't need to highlight or annotate today, you just need to read. Okay, you guys can also have that read to you if you guys click right here. So once you've read the introduction, then you have 4 different options that you can choose one of them. Okay, so at the bottom you'll see this little next arrow. So the first option you have is, spider silk for gliding through the air. So these little spiders basically have a really lightweight spider web, so when they shoot their silk out, it can catch in the air because it's so lightweight and transport them from one place to another. So it's kind of almost like a parachute for them to help them move around. Okay, then you can scroll to the bottom of that. You guys will see that these articles aren't very long at all. Scroll to the bottom of that. You have the next option is spider silk for spitting at prey. So you have some spiders that can basically wrap their prey up really quick in spider silk, or there's even some spiders that have venom in their silk that they can squirt at their prey and eat them that way. So you guys can read that one, or you can read spider silk for living underwater. This one is pretty cool. Basically, spiders don't have gills. They can't live underwater, but this spider has a unique silk for basically building a little atmosphere underneath the water, and then every time they come up for air, they grab a bubble of air, they take it down, they put it in their little atmosphere, and then they can have a little basically world under the water where they have their own bubble of oxygen that they can live in. So that's pretty cool to see that spiders have crazy adaptations like that. So you can read that one, or finally you guys can read about spider silk for supersized webs. So we're talking webs that basically could stretch across a huge river bank. So you guys can read, this one's specific to Darwin bark spiders that you guys are going to be learning about in this unit. So choose one of those 4 articles. You just have to read it. There's no questions to answer until you guys go on today's assignment. So today's assignment, you guys will go to Teams Assignments, and you guys will open up this activity here. So it's a little PowerPoint that you guys are going to be editing. Your first part on this obviously goes over the reading you just did under Activity 2. So all you have to do is tell me which article you read. So it should be one of those 4 articles. Either spider silk for gliding through the air, spider silk for spitting at prey, spider silk for living underwater, or spider silk for supersized webs. So write your answer in right there. And then just write me in your own words 5 to 7 sentences that describe what you learned about between the introduction and that article. So again, you're reading not only your variation of the article, but the intro as well. Okay, so 5 to 7 sentences explaining that. And again, it should be all of your own words. Just tell me about the article. Okay, for the last part of this, you guys will be doing a little hands-on activity. Again, those of you guys who are in class today, you'll be actually using these little connects. Okay, those of you guys who are not in class today, you guys will just be looking at the pictures and making predictions. So what we are going to look at is how the structure of proteins influence its function. So again, we have all kinds of different proteins that have different shape, and because of their different shape, They have different jobs to do. So let's assume that we have three different proteins here that all have a different structure or shape. Okay, we've got protein 1, okay, is represented by this one stick with the two little connectors on it. Okay, protein number 2 is a stick with just one connector, and protein 3 is just a stick. There are no connectors on it. Okay, so visualize those 3 different types of protein. If we were to make spider silk out of those, okay, we would look at each of those structures making a different function for that spider silk. So that spider silk might have a different job to do. Okay, so let's just take a look. On this first one, I just give you guys an idea of how to use PowerPoint and how to fill this out. So it says use the draw feature in PowerPoint to complete your sketches on the next slide. So if you guys all look up here where my mouse is, you'll see me highlighting the draw. Okay, you guys will click on that tab, and then you guys have an eraser, pencil, pen, highlighter, and then when you need to go back to your cursor, you guys can just click back on your cursor. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on to the next slide. So on this one it says comparing silk protein molecules. So sketch the structure or the shape of the 3 models of protein. So if these are our 3 molecules of protein, you guys will go ahead and sketch them in this box. So I can grab like my marker here, I can change my color if need be, and say, all right, protein 1 looks like this. It doesn't have to be a complicated drawing. It doesn't have to look exactly like the picture. Okay, what does protein 2 look like in comparison, and what does protein 3 look like? So you guys will sketch those 3 proteins on here. You guys can see that I can erase just as easy. All right, and then answer this question. Each protein molecule connects to form more protein molecules, and those form a silk strand. Which type of protein molecule do you think will form the most flexible strand so it'll be easiest to kind of bend? Explain your answer below. Okay? Once you guys have finished between explaining whether protein 1, protein 2, or protein 3, if connected together to the same type of protein, will form the most flexible strand, you guys will move on to part 2. Okay? So part 2, you guys would actually test your theory on the question you just answered. Okay, so I did an example for you guys. I have this little protein molecule that I built for you guys, and you guys can obviously see a picture on it, of it right in front of you. Okay, so I took protein 1 and I attached them. So everywhere I had these little green connectors, that was a spot I was able to attach. So 2 green connectors means that I was able to attach that to a protein in 2 spots. Okay, so I have 3 different molecules here attached together to form a silk strand. Okay, so build 2 additional models of each protein. So you guys can just kind of imagine what they would look like. So if I had 3 of protein 2, okay, how would I connect them together to form 1 strand if that were my silk strand? Okay, so here's my 3. How might I connect those 3 together? Okay, and then same thing with this one. If you guys had protein 3, if you had 3 of those, okay, notice that these don't actually have connectors on them, so that's something for you guys to think about. Okay, all right, so once you guys have imagined how those might be built, you're going to go ahead and sketch them. So you guys can see right here there's an option for you guys to sketch. You guys have already seen what protein 1 connected together looks like, so sketch that here. Might look something like this, where I have my little stick. I have 3 of them. Oops, sorry, I'm going to undo one of those. Kind of a small box, so do the best you guys can. So I have 3 of these kind of stacked together. And then I'm attached by the little green connectors. So in this case, I'm attached twice here and twice here. We'll pretend that red line goes all the way, and there's 2 that are ready to attach to the next protein strand. Okay? So that would be my drawing of how these proteins connect together. So how might protein 2, if we took 3 molecules of protein 2, how might they connect together? And same with protein 3, how might they connect together? And then answer here, you guys can just write yes or no in this box. So did the proteins connect to form a strand? In this case, were we able to hook those proteins together? The answer is yes. That's like really nice handwriting for me, you guys. And that's with a mouse, so props to me. I hope you guys can do just as good. All right, so anyway, that's your guys' answer there. And then what do you think protein 2 and protein 3 would look like? Okay, and then again, you guys aren't actually in class to use this, so just make a prediction. All right, and then it says here, finally, make a prediction. Type the answer to the question below. So I need to go back to my cursor to the question below. And it says, compare the flexibility of the protein strands. Which protein, so would it be protein number 1? Or would it be your attached protein number 2? Oops, sorry, show that the right way. Or might it be your attached protein number 3? Okay, so compare the flexibility of the protein strands. So if you can imagine kind of trying to bend those, like if I look at this one, trying to kind of bend it, which do you think would be the most flexible? It would be the easiest to bend. Explain your answer below. So is it going to be protein 1, which I just showed you guys? Okay. Or protein 2? Do you guys think this would be more or less flexible if all of these were connected together? Or protein 3? Okay. So, and then explain why you guys think that one will be. So that's your guys' assignment. Once you're done with this Word document, or excuse me, PowerPoint, you guys can go ahead and hit hand in your lessons. Again, nothing you had to do in Amplify today other than read the articles, add the vocab and the key concepts that you guys saw in your OneNote, and then answer the questions and do the activity in this PowerPoint. Again, if you have any questions, let me know. I hope you all are having a great day. I'm seeing your faces, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.